Hello there, and welcome to another depressing look at where your hard-earned tax dollars are going. Spoiler alert, probably not where you want them to. We're talking about a staggering $2.8 billion, folks. That's enough to buy every single person in Wyoming a very nice used car, or fund vital public services. Instead, this money vanished into a black hole of government waste, fraud, and abuse. A recent investigation revealed a web of corruption within 3 major federal agencies: Housing and Urban Development, Veterans Affairs, and Transportation. These are the folks supposed to be taking care of our homes, our veterans, and our roads. Instead, they seem to have been taking care of themselves. We're talking about inflated contracts, rigged bids, and money funneled to shady shell companies. And let's not forget the ghost employees, those phantom workers who somehow manage to collect paychecks despite never actually, existing. It's enough to make your head spin, but don't worry, we're going to break it all down for you in all its infuriating detail. So, buckle up, dear taxpayers, because this is going to be a bumpy ride. Let's start with the classics: inflated contracts and bid rigging. We've all heard the stories: a $10 hammer here, a $10,000 toilet seat there. But this, my friends, is next-level grift. We're talking about $850 million in contracts that were inflated by 200 to 300% above market value. That's like buying a cup of coffee for $300. Except instead of coffee, it's something truly essential like, well, honestly, it's probably still just overpriced office supplies. And how do you get away with such blatant price gouging? By rigging the system, of course. The investigation uncovered evidence of collusion between government officials and contractors. These weren't just low-level bureaucrats either. We're talking about 12 senior officials who were allegedly in on the scheme. These are the people entrusted with protecting our tax dollars, and they were apparently more interested in lining their own pockets. Now let's talk about those ghost employees. No, they're not haunting the halls of government buildings, though that would be more interesting. These are people who exist only on paper, with fake social security numbers and addresses that lead to empty lots. Yet somehow they were still collecting paychecks, 347 of them, to be exact. Think about that for a moment. 347 fake employees, raking in millions of dollars each year. That's money that could have gone to schools, hospitals, or literally anything else that actually exists. And it gets worse. These ghost employees weren't just random glitches in the system. They were concentrated in departments with minimal oversight and maximum budget flexibility. The places where it's easiest to get away with this kind of fraud. Section 4, pockets lined with gold, the kickback kings. But wait, there's more. As if inflated contracts and ghost employees weren't enough, the investigation also uncovered evidence of good old-fashioned kickbacks. That's right, folks. We're talking about cash bribes, luxury vacations, and other lavish gifts exchanged for government contracts. It's the oldest story in the book, and yet, it never seems to get old for those in power. And who were the lucky recipients of these ill-gotten gains? Well, according to the investigation, at least 12 senior agency officials received benefits exceeding $500,000 each. That's $500,000 in bribes, folks, just for doing their jobs. Or rather, for not doing their jobs and instead funneling taxpayer money to their cronies. Section 5. Following the money, a trail of shell companies and offshore accounts. Now, you might be wondering how they managed to move all this money around without anyone noticing. Well, that's where things get really interesting. The investigation uncovered a complex network of fund transfers involving multiple intermediaries and shell companies. We're talking about a labyrinthine trail of transactions designed to obfuscate the origin and destination of the funds. And where did all this money eventually end up? Why, in offshore accounts, of course. Those secretive bank accounts in exotic locations with lax financial regulations, the kind of places where the super rich stash their cash to avoid taxes and scrutiny.